Hello, hello, hello. We're going to get started in a few minutes. Want to welcome everybody to tonight's live. And I'll wait for a few more people to get in the room. Hello, and if you're here, just let me know you're here and just put your name and where you're calling from. Let's see. We're going to get started in a minute or so. I think I hear some ducks outside. We have ducks in this area, and sometimes they decide to have meetings right outside our house. So let me that. Give a few more seconds for a few more people to get here. I don't want to hold you long tonight. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started because, again, I don't want to keep you here all night. Today, we're going to get into the first day of our 5-day uh, personal vision and mission statement challenge. And before we get started, I just want to go over a few things. If you let's see, is the chat on? It looks like the chat is on. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's on. Okay. All right. So go ahead. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to welcome you to day one of our first day one of our 5-day personal vision and mission statement challenge. And if this is your first time joining us live, I'm glad you're here. And if you've watched the replays of the 2-day workshop that we had prior to this, or the video on how to prepare for the challenge, welcome back. So let's start with a quick sound check. If you can hear me clearly, please put a 60 in the chat box so that I know we're good to go. So if you can hear me okay, put a 60 in the chat box. Uh-oh, I don't have a 60. Oh, okay, I got one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, so I am going to get started. If you do not have anything to write with or don't have your workbook, why don't you go ahead and take a few moments to grab that? Make sure you have your workbook, your personal vision and mission statement workbook, or a notebook or journal or something to write your thoughts down in. I'll give you a few seconds to do that while we're waiting for a few people to come into the room. Thank you so much for letting me know that you can hear me. It just helps me to make sure that we're all connected and flowing smoothly. You check and see if we have any. All righty. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Before we go any further, I just want to say this up front. This challenge is designed as a follow up to the 2-day personal vision and mission workshop. So if you haven't completed those 2 sessions yet, I strongly encourage you to do that before continuing with this challenge. Why? Because the workshop lays a foundation. It's the learning, the context, the definitions. All of that was covered in the 2-day workshop. This 5-day challenge is focused on doing the work. So if you haven't taken in that foundational teaching, this part may feel a little confusing or overwhelming, and I don't want that for you. I encourage you to do it, but you don't have to. It's just strongly encouraged, okay? If you have done the workshop, let's get into it. Okay, let me check the chat box. Okay. And maybe you can put your name and where you're viewing from if you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable, type your name and if the city or state that you are viewing this live from, if you feel comfortable. If you don't, that's okay. While you're doing that, I just want to go over a few housekeeping notes, okay? Just a few housekeeping things before we dive in. I'll be guiding us for about 10 or 15 minutes today. Then we'll move into reflection and writing time. We're only going to be here for about 30 or 40 minutes total, but I'll make myself available for up to 60 minutes if you need that extra time. If you finish your writing early, you're welcome to quietly leave the session when you're done. If you don't finish within our time together tonight, the replay will be available immediately so you can come back and complete it later. Okay? The prompt will be posted in the chat. So even if you don't have the workbook, you'll still have what you need. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and give you as a reminder, last week's homework, I explained that during this 5-day challenge, we're going to focus on one specific area of your life. We're not going to do 900 goals tonight. We're going to focus on one specific area, and that's it. So go ahead and choose one area that you want to focus on this week. Write that at the top of your notes or journal today. If you are using a journal, if you have your workbook, you can go to the content page and look for the area that you want to focus on and turn to that page. And I'll go more into that later. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and post the goal areas, and I'll go over those in a minute, in the chat pot for those who do not have the workbook. I want to make that a little easier for you. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Uh-oh. So I'm going to have to break this up. I'm 60 over, it says. So let's see. What we'll do is I'm going to do this as part 1 and part 2. And I probably should have checked that first. So I'm right now in the process of putting the goal areas in. So let's do that. And I just want to make it as easy as possible for people. So there's the first one, and then I'll do a second one to get the second ones in there. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So what I've just done is I just added the 8 areas that are the 8 goal areas that's included in the personal vision and mission workbook. For those people who don't have a workbook, again, it's okay. Just go ahead and follow along with the prompts. So I just want to remind everyone what the 8 goal areas are. We'll go through those quickly: spiritual growth, personal growth, health and wellness, family, professional growth, financial stability, social relationships, renewal and recreation, or you can create your own goal area, such as entrepreneurship. Maybe you want to improve in your creativity or be more creative or spend more time being creative. Maybe you want to write a personal vision goal for your plans to retire. This is all about what you want to do. So just choose one area if you haven't done that already. I'll give you a few moments to do that. If you just joined us, please put your name in the chat and where you're watching from if you feel comfortable doing that. So I see we have Chineri in the house. She's signing in from LA. Hi, Chineri. How you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. And we're waiting for people to select their one goal area, maybe you can do a thumbs up for me. That'll help with the YouTube algorithm. You'll see me looking down at my phone because my mom has problems sometimes putting things in the chat. So what I'll do is I'll look to see what she's putting in the chat if she's on, and then I'll type that in the chat for her. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, we're only going to be here between 30 and 40 minutes. So um, actually, I'm going to make myself, this live will be up for 60 minutes. So the live will be up until 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But you all can leave as soon as you finish, responding to the prompt. So let's just make sure that we just choose one. The one that feels most important to you right now. You're not locked into this forever. We're focusing our attention so we can move with clarity this week. Okay, so here's how we'll flow each day during the challenge. For those of you who just joined us, I just want to remind you all, I'll guide you through a short teaching or reminder that will last only about 10 or 15 minutes maximum. I'm almost at my maximum now. I'll give you the prompt of the day, which will also be posted in the chat pot. Then we'll move into quiet reflection and writing time. I won't be answering any questions during the writing segment, okay? But if you're watching the replay, feel free to leave a comment or question below the video. I will get those responses back to you. I'm pretty good about checking my comments daily. Again, you are welcome to leave when you are finished. But if you need more time, I'll remain here quietly for up to 60 minutes. If you're using the personal vision and mission statement workbook, where's mine? Okay, looks like this. If you're using the workbook, I just want to give us some instructions on that real quick. You're using the workbook. What I'm going to go ahead and turn to the section that matches your chosen goal area. You can find that section using the contents or the table of contents. It's called the contents in the workbook on page 11. For example, if you selected personal growth, that section for personal growth starts on page 35. If you do not have the workbook, no problem at all. Just use your notebook and write down the prompt when I share it. Right now, what you can do is write down the one goal area that you plan to focus on at the top of your page, okay? And maybe you can date it. Those of us who have the workbook, we're going to be, well, actually, you're not going to date it until we're actually finished with the challenge, because then everything's completed. So scratch that, okay? You'll find the workbook on Amazon. I will provide the link to the workbook in the chat pod. It will also be in the pinned comments. It will be in the description, and the it's also on my For You page or the home page. I just posted it in the comments. Again, the workbook is not mandatory to participate in this segment. So I'm going to look and see if we have more people joining us. If you just joined, welcome. Please just say where what your name is and where you're checking in from. Hey, Sister Harriet is here. Thank you so much, Dr. Kamani, for joining us tonight. I stated earlier that we're going to be here no longer than about 40 minutes. I'm going to spend about 10 or 15 minutes talking, and that's almost over with. And we're going to spend the rest of our time doing our reflective journaling and writing work. So I do want to give us a quick recap and revisit what a personal statement is. And we're going to go through that really quickly because, again, I want to honor your time. Okay. Now, your vision is a clear, motivating declaration of where you want to go in a specific area of your life. Okay. It's not about having all the answers. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Your vision answers the questions: what do I want to see in my life? It's your North Star. You've heard people say that probably. The picture that you are holding in your heart, okay, as you take faithful steps forward. Now, here's a simple structure to guide your personal vision statement, okay? The elements that you want to include in it, if you will. You want to have the date, okay? And your vision is going to have where you want to be. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. You want to somewhere have your motivation. And I do have a section broken out separately for that in the workbook. We'll go over that in, I think, day 3. We're going to talk about strategies. What steps can I take? This is also a part of your vision statement. And it's also one of the elements or reflected in your mission. You want to have a reflection section. What am I learning along the way? Do I need to make changes? Do I need to pivot? Do I need to adjust or modify? You want to have rewards. How will I celebrate my progress? So I will list the steps or the structure. I'll put those in the chat pot. Let me see if they will fit with one. Okay, now I got to break them up. So let's go ahead and put those in the chat pot. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to type it in the chat pot now, because again, once we start the writing portion, I won't be answering any questions because we will be focusing on writing. Okay, so go ahead and ask your questions now. Want to honor your time. So what I posted is just a simple structure to guide you, okay? And I will let you decide how you want to structure that. The next thing I want to talk about is, and remind you again, is that your personal vision statement is an inspirational and motivational declaration of your future. Okay, we're looking ahead, aspirations. Okay, and as we spoke about earlier in the 2-day workshop, your personal vision is based on your core values. We talked about those compassion, empathy, what have you, and serves as a guide for making you want to accomplish or where you desire to go in your life a reality. Okay. Your personal vision statement is an inspirational motivational declaration of your future aspirations. I'm just repeating that. Okay. And it is based on your core values and serves as a guide for making you want to accomplish where you want to go and how you desire to get there. Okay. So, today, having said all that, today's prompt, the prompt of the day, day one, is write a personal vision, okay, for the goal area you have chosen. Your personal vision, again, is a declaration of your desired future, okay, in that part of your life. And I am going to put this in the prompt in the screen so you can see it. For those who do not have the workbook, make it a little easy for you. So this is the prompt of the day. We are going to spend the remainder of our time writing that. Now, what I encourage you to do is maybe write, if you have the workbook, maybe on another sheet of paper or even in notes. Let me show you behind each prompt. So for example, I selected for mine is going to be health and wellness. Okay. So behind health and wellness, this health and wellness section, let me get this off of here so you can hear me. The health and wellness section, what you have, and this is in every section, is you have the area. So here's the health and wellness section, and you can select whatever you want to select if you have the workbook. And if you don't have the workbook, just write down the goal. And then you have the different areas. So you'll be writing your personal mission here. But before I write it here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to the notes. There's notes section here. And I'm going to answer some of the questions that I am getting ready to tell you about right now. Okay. And this is not about racing and trying to rush. We are going to take our time in completing this. So one of the questions when you are writing your personal statement, your personal vision statement, if you're unsure where to begin, is to answer 4 of the 4 questions. If money were not an issue, what would I do or be in this area? If money were not an issue, and I'll put this in the chat pot, what would I want to do or be in this area? And this area refers to the area that you selected. Okay, and let me go ahead and move and put this in the chat box for you right quick. And there's another question. Let me put that in there. Okay, that's too many. Hold on. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask those before we get started. Let me try to do 2. Okay, I'll put these questions in here. What's happening is I have to break it down because the chat will only allow me. So to help guide you with your personal vision, the first question you can ask yourself, this is if you don't know. Some people already know. Okay, some people already know. If money were not an issue or an object, what would I want to do or be in this area of my life? Another question that you can ask yourself, and I'll put that in the chat pod as well. If I could change one thing about this area of my life, referring to the one goal area we selected, what would it be? Right? Because we're going to be including that in our statement. And you want to answer these maybe on a separate sheet of paper or in the notes, because we're going to articulate it once we, are sure about, or we're clear about what we want our personal vision statement to say. Another question you can consider is, what brings me joy in this part of my life? What brings me joy in this part of my life? And then the final question, and there are others, but here are 4 that can help us out. The final question that you might want to consider when you're doing your personal vision statement is what's currently missing and what wholeness looks like. So, when you are writing your personal vision statement, we're keeping in mind that our personal vision statement is an inspirational and motivational declaration of your future aspirations. That's what it is. Okay. And maybe take a few minutes or as much time as you want and just consider the questions that I put in the chat pot. So I've also put the statement about the personal vision and what it means. Okay. So we have the prompt of the day in there. We have the questions. All right, let's begin our reflection and writing time. You're welcome to put on some soft music, some calming music in the background, or sit in silence. Whatever helps you. Whatever helps you feel the most grounded. Take your time. This is your space to think, to listen, and to write what's true for you. Now, I'll be here writing alongside you. I'll also be playing some music. I will be muting my mic though, because of copyright reasons. I can't play the music aloud. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me look in the chat pot. All right, let's get started. I have my tea here. I have my tea here. I'll be drinking my tea. Here's my cup that says officially retired. Not my problem anymore. One of my friends made this for me. So, one of the things I had suggested that people do is to make this your time. Another thing I'd have is my color pens. I love writing in color pens, so I'll be filling that out. And I don't know if you can see my little cute picture. I spoke about this during the prep thing. This is the picture I was talking about. So I have it here. Just inspirational. Little two girls, reminds me of me and my sister having a tea party. All right. I don't see any questions in the chat pot. So I'm going to go ahead and mute. Let's spend this time um, writing. Again, I'll be on the line until 7 o'clock. Once you write your personal vision statement, feel free to exit. You can just put something in the chat and say, hey, I'm out. I'm done. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay. I'm sorry. One other thing I wanted to add is if you have the workbook and this space, which is where you're going to write your personal vision, is not enough, you have like 5 pages of notes back here that you can write them on. You can do that. Or if you want to write it, the continuation here, you can do that as well. Hi, welcome to the challenge for day one. I see we have some more people who joined us. Right now, we're working on the prompt. You can read the chat pot and to see the prompt of the day is. And if you want to just listen to the replay, that's fine as well. We're currently writing our personal uh, We're writing our personal vision statement for the one area of our life that we selected. So there were 8 areas, that the 8 areas, goal areas, and there's more. I have those listed in the chat pot. So you can pick your one of the 8 areas if you haven't done that already. Select that. And we're spending the rest of our time together until 7 writing our personal vision statement. I've listed some questions if you're not sure where to start in terms of how to write your personal vision statement. Just read the chat pot and go through the questions that'll help you write that. Okay. And I'm going to mute myself because I'm writing mine as well. The replay will be available immediately after the live. So for those of you who were here earlier, go ahead and maybe you can mute this so I can give the people who just joined us a quick overview of what we're doing. Go ahead and mute your phone, your TV, or whatever you're looking on, if you don't mind, so I can go over briefly what we covered before the people who just joined us, just so that they can stay on. Okay. So right now, what we're doing is we're writing our personal vision statement for the one goal area that we selected earlier. I mentioned earlier that there were 8 goal areas, but there's more than that. They are in the the chat box, and I'll go over them. So the goal areas include spiritual growth, personal growth. If you don't see them, you can scroll up. Spiritual growth, personal growth, health and wellness, family, professional growth, financial stability, social relationships, renewal and recreation, or you can create your own. Maybe you want to do entrepreneurship. Somebody might say, I want to travel. You may decide you want to do creativity. So choose one goal area. We're not going to work on 900 goal areas. Okay. The structure, and this is just a suggested structure. The suggested structure, you can scroll down for your personal vision statement is, and this will be as a guide, is a date, your vision, where you want to go or be, your motivation, why you want to do this. And we have a different prompt on a different day. I think we'll work on that on day 3. So you don't have to worry about motivation now. Just want to share that with you. It includes your strategies. That's kind of your how. You don't have to worry about that now because we'll work on that tomorrow. And an area for reflections, you don't have to worry about that now. We'll work on it later. I just want to let you know what's generally included. So the prompt of the day. The prompt of the day is to write a personal vision statement for your one chosen goal area. Okay. Your vision is a declaration of your desired future. Okay. In that part of your life. For example, the one that I chose for myself was health and wellness. That's the one area that I will be writing about through the duration of our 5 days together. Okay. And so some people have the workbook, the personal workbook, which is here. Okay. If you have the workbook, that's fine. Just go to the table of contents. Okay. Find the goal area. Find the goal area that you selected and turn to that goal area. Okay. When you turn to that goal area, you will see a section at the top that says personal vision. That's the what. That's what we're working on today. Now, that's a very small space. So what I recommended people do was to go over to the next page, okay? Because you have notes behind here, okay? So use notes to write out like the beginning part, okay? And what you do is you're going to answer some questions for yourself so that you can get your personal statement written. Now, if you don't have a workbook, that's okay. It is not required. Grab you a notebook like this, get you a paper, pencil, something to write with, and at the top of your notebook, write what your goal area is, okay? And you're going to write your personal vision statement on your notebook or your notes or whatever. And I recommend you write it, not type it into something, because there's something that happens when you write things down. Okay, so I've also posted in the prompt, I posted the prompt in here. Okay, I also posted some questions that can help you to kind of conceptualize or kind of think about what you want your vision to look like. The first question, and they're in the chat pot, is if money were not an issue, what would I want to do or be in this area? If I could change one thing about this area, and we're referring to the area that you selected, that one goal area, in my life, what would it be? What brings me joy in this part of my life? What is currently missing? And we're talking about in the part of the life that you selected, and what wholeness look like in that part of my life. Your personal vision statement is, and this is in the chat pot too. Your personal vision statement is an inspirational and motivational declaration of your future aspirations. Okay, so I am not going to be talking during the entire challenge on the 5 days that we're here. I'll talk for the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then I will be muting the screen, and I'll be working on mine as you guys are working on yours. I've encouraged folks to listen to some music. I will be listening to music, but I can't play it on YouTube because of copyright. So you can sign out as soon, when you're done, you can leave. Just say, bye, I've done mine. And you can put it in the comments. And I'll be here until 7. And I think I'll stay a little later for some of the people who came in a little later. I can stay till about 7:30. But if you finish before then, please, please, please feel free to sign off. Okay? All righty. So I am going to go ahead and finish mine. Again, don't worry about not having a workbook. If you do want the workbook, there's a link to the workbook. If you ordered the workbook and you haven't received it, don't worry about that either. Just write it on a piece of paper. When you get your notebook, transfer it over. Okay? Don't even worry about it. Let's go ahead and finish. Again, I'll stay a little longer for those of you who, join us a little later, because I know today's the first day. And I'm going to mute myself now. All righty. Thank you. Oh, and if you have questions, put them in the chat pod. From starting tomorrow, I won't be answering any questions during our writing time. So we started about 6:30 writing. The last thing I want to say is you'll notice the area for the personal vision. It's a small area. So what I've suggested that folks do, if they want, they can, put part of it over in the notes, or they can put part of it here. What I'm doing is I'm writing out my notes. I'm writing it in notes, and then I'll make a concise statement and put it in that one area. You can do the same thing if you're using a notebook. You can have the area, like your working draft, and then you could articulate it and make it succinct and concise later. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Okay, it's 7 o'clock, but I will stay on as long as anybody else stays on. It's no problem. I'm retired, so I'm going to go ahead and mute it myself, and I will stay on as long as the last person is here. Thank you for coming. Just a quick reminder, when you get a chance, please hit the thumbs up before you leave. And if you don't mind putting a comment at the live stream, that would be great. Thank you so much. And I will stay on until the last person is ready to go. Please do not rush. I am retired. Okay. Okay, it's 7:18. Is there anybody else on the line or in the chat? I see that we have a few people. Look like somebody else just joined us. I will stay. I can stay a little longer if you guys need me to. It's no problem at all. If you're still writing, just let me know. Just say, hey, I need a little bit more time. And then that way I'll know uh, to stay. And it's no problem at all. Trust me. I'd rather stay so you can get your statement done. Those who just joined me, if you just joined and you want some time, just let me know. I can go over quickly what we went over tonight. Otherwise, you just need a little bit more time to say, just put a little more time, please, in the chat. So I'll know that I need to stay a little longer. Uh-oh. Let me turn this up. I think I turned my mic. Oh, yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys could hear me. Sorry about that. I turned my volume down. It's 7:20 Pacific Standard Time. Um, if you need a little more time, just say, hey, I need a little more time in the chat. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I had my mic down. Sorry about that. If not, then I can go ahead and end the live. But if you need more time, please let me know that. No problem at all for me to stay. But just need more time. I don't want to end the live and somebody is still working on their statement. Okay, so it looks like nobody is responding. So I think my numbers might be off here on YouTube. Maybe there's no one else here but me. Looks like I have some people in the room, but I can't really tell. Let me see. Looks like my mom is still in here too, so I'll stay a little longer. And Sister Harriet Kamani is here as well. So I'm gonna mute myself. I'll stay until 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's in about 8 minutes. And if you don't finish your personal vision statement by then, feel free to just finish it tomorrow. And the more tomorrow, you may have time during tomorrow's live to finish it, and that's fine, or even after we get off. But I will keep the live on until 7:30. That's about 7 minutes from now. Okay. Thank you. And I'll mute myself now so you can concentrate. By the way, I'm listening to music. So if you see me back here listening to some of the songs my mom suggested, okay. Okay, my beautiful people, we've been on for about an hour and a half now. It is 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. If you have not finished today's prompt of the day, which was to write your personal vision statement for the one goal area that you selected, feel free to continue writing after I end the live. Also, be aware that the replay of this live will be available immediately afterwards. Let's see. The prompt is also in the chat pot. I will also put it in the I'll put it in the video description to be helpful after we're done here. Okay, this has been awesome. Thank you so very much for everyone who joined us. I have got to go eat. I have not eaten today. Well, I ate a little something earlier, but um, some tangerines that my mom gave me. Thank you, Mama. But I need to grab me some food. So I'm going to go ahead and end the live. And I will see you, beautiful people, tomorrow at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and 9 p.m. This is p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I'll talk to everybody soon. Have a good day. Bye.